Three, two, one. Broadcasting tape delayed from New York City, where they hand out the Heisman Trophy every year to the greatest college. What do they call these guys now? Student athletes.
Right.
It just couldn't matter. I was looking for 3/4 professional player, which is what it is now.
Really, in today's day and age, is the highest athlete that's being paid.
Yes.
That's right. The athlete with the highest NIL budget. Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, and I'm Bill, and this is JP, and this is a sports economy show, and we're here to pump you up because today's show is all about the Heisman, and I know that JP is going to bring up the guy who changed his name to rhyme with Heisman so he could win.
Why don't you tell that story?
All right. I don't recall this because I think I was like a wee child. But the rumor is there's a man who played quarterback for the Washington Redskins. I don't even remember where he played college at.
Yeah.
Whose name was Joe Theismann.
Yeah.
Who decided to start pronouncing his name Joe Theismann because he wanted to win the Heisman Award.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
And did he win? No.
He didn't win.
He did not win. But
yes. So people want to win that trophy so bad.
Yeah. Right. You know, nowadays they don't care. You know, I think they do once they win it. Yeah. Or once they're up for it. But I don't think it's not a major I gotta have a Heisman Trophy now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right, so what do you got for us? Because I lost my notes in a car fire on the way home. And
okay, so look.
And this is all I got, is I got you to talk about it, and I'm going to add some high-level commentary.
Okay, so we brought up this topic the other day, and we kind of thought about it as, hey, how many people as Heisman Trophy winners have gone on to have great NFL careers, Hall of Famers, you know, or serviceable careers, right? And because when we were kids, it seemed like if you were a Heisman Trophy winner, people knew you until you died. You went through the NFL and you were usually a great player.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then they pass on, right?
Yeah.
But it has not been the same probably in the last 20 to 30 years.
Yeah, the bloom has kind of faded.
Right.
In the past 20 years.
Same as much. It's a don't get me wrong. If you are a college athlete, and you win the Heisman Trophy, it is a major accomplishment. It is something that you can hold your hat on for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But being a Heisman Trophy winner today does not automatically mean that you're going to be a baller in the NFL. So basically what I did was I just kind of went through some, you know, past, like I am in my 50s. So as you can tell from the gray hairs on my face. So what I kind of did was went back and from the time that I've pretty much been alive, or a little bit earlier, I went back to see, hey, how is it? What does the Heisman Trophy mean that you're, you know, a lock for the Hall of Fame? So in my research, I found out is that's not true.
Even I got a question for you. Yeah. Does the winning the Heisman, is that a lock to be a top 10 pick?
That I did not research, but
okay.
You know, I'm especially sure back in the day, a lot of Heisman Trophy winners were picked, and especially if you're the quarterback, you usually are picked high. You're picked very high because, you know, the quarterback is a demanding position. So here are the people who actually won. There's only been 10. We're about to do the 91st Heisman Trophy Award.
Wow.
Presentation. Yeah, 91st. This weekend, and there's only been 10 people who have been named Heisman Trophy winners that have gone on and become NFL Hall of Famers, and that is Doak Walker, Paul Hornung, Roger Staubach, O.J. Simpson, Tony Dorsett, Earl Campbell, Marcus Allen, Tim Brown, Barry Sanders, and Charles Woodson.
Yeah.
If you notice, Charles Woodson was a Hall of Famer. Uh, was announced to be a Hall of Famer in the last 5 to 10 years, right?
Okay.
He he finished his college career in 1997, right? And that's why I kind of wanted to to end as far as the Heisman Trophy, because that when Charles Woodson won, do you know who he was going up against in the Heisman race? Very
Nin-
popular player.
1997.
Yes, it was a big controversy. It made news. He beat
Was
out.
it was it a quarterback?
Yes,
Peyton Manning?
yes, it was.
97?
Very good,
Okay.
Bill. And it also had Randy Moss was also in that. So basically,
Okay.
you had three Hall of Famers. Whoever won the Heisman Trophy was going to be, you know, legendary anyway,
Yeah.
right? So you had three guaranteed lock Hall of Famers, right?
Okay.
And going through since I've been alive in the 70s, right? Most of the 70s and 80s, almost all the guys had serviceable careers, stretches in their careers where they were great players, right?
Okay.
Or they were Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
So from 1970, Jim Plunkett played with the Oakland Raiders, won 2 Super Bowls.
Two
Tony
Super
Dorsett,
Bowls.
Earl Campbell, Billy Sims, Charles White was a great college running back. I think he actually had some time in the pros, but I don't think it was long lasting. I think he had some injuries.
Okay.
George Rogers, great college running back, played with the New Orleans Saints, gave him a lot of credibility. He was probably one of the main reasons why the Saints actually started to do stuff in the 80s when they had been bad for so long. Remember,
Yeah.
they came up with the bags on their heads, the Aints.
The Aints. I think they're
Marcus
back
Allen,
now.
huh?
I think the
Right.
Aints are back now.
Yeah, yeah, they are. So, okay, so then we hit the late 70s, and here we go. Marcus Allen, Herschel Walker,
Yeah.
Doug Flutie, Bo Jackson, Vinny Testaverde, Tim Brown, Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders was in 1988. So,
Okay.
pretty much everybody in the 80s pretty much had a solid career or was a Hall of Famer in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then it just dropped.
Did
Starting
it
with Andre
drop?
Ware in 1989,
Yeah.
bust quarterback. Ty Detmer, bust in the NFL. Gino Toretta, I think he got drafted late and didn't have a career. Charlie Ward opted out to play for the Knicks, had a good NBA career, solid,
Yeah.
but not, Rashawn Salam from Colorado, no.
No.
Danny Werfel in 1996 and Ron Dayne in
Danny Warfel
1990.
won the Heisman Trophy.
Yes, he did from Florida.
Wow. Yeah.
Ron Dayne in 1999
I
from
was talking to
Wisconsin.
you about this guy today. He
Yeah,
was like the greatest running back in all of college football. And then he got to the NFL, and his first year, I think he averaged 2.5 yards a carry.
listen, yeah, you're correct. And he and I say this in all kindness as a weight challenged person myself.
Yeah.
Ron Dayne couldn't step away from the table, and a few years after he got in the NFL,
Yeah.
it just wasn't working. He
It
did have
didn't.
a stretch where he got himself in shape and played serviceably for a
And
couple of years, but
yeah.
then it just, as he got older, it just went away. So
As he
in
got
that
older, he
stretch,
reached 26 years old.
right.
Right.
So in that stretch from 1989 to 1997,
Okay,
you only
seven,
had
8 years.
right. You only had Eddie George. Desmond Howard was serviceable for the. He did win a Super Bowl MVP with the Packers, but more than likely, but most of all, he was just a good kickoff and punt returner.
Uh huh.
Right, was not the player that they thought. And then Charles Woodson, of course, was a Hall of Famer. They did go to Ricky Williams, who was a serviceable player, couldn't stay off the weed,
Yeah.
and
There was a time when he was suspended and he decided it was better to smoke pot than it was to play in
yes,
the NFL. And
that's
people were
right,
going, dude, you have a $10 million a year contract and you would rather do this.
that's right.
Nobody understood it.
He basically said, "I can't play in the NFL if I don't smoke the weed because it
Yeah.
relaxes me, and I it's the only way I cope with the pain and stuff like that is with the weed." And when they said he couldn't do it, well, he was
Well,
like, "Well, maybe I just need to step away."
yeah.
So, you know, and once we hit the 2000s, a lot of the draft picks, a lot of the Heisman picks were not good. We did
Yeah.
have Carson Palmer. He had a good career, uh, you know, but really in the last we did have Cam Newton. He had a good career. He's not going to be a Hall of Famer,
Yeah.
but you did have some good players, but there were a lot of bust. And really, out of the current players today, the only ones, Lamar Jackson has a good chance of being a Hall of Famer. Derrick Henry is a lock to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And then you have Joe Burrow, who has a talent to be a Hall of Famer, but if he can't stay
If
off
he,
the
if,
IR,
if he can't
he's
finish
not
the
going to make.
season, yeah.
That's right. Jalen Daniels and Caleb Williams, both of them drafted last year. Let's see how they go, but only time will tell.
Yeah.
So the answer to the question is, if you're a Heisman Trophy winner, does that automatically give you NFL success? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
Even the only two-time Heisman Trophy winner was Archie Griffin, the only one, and he only had a serviceable career with the Cincinnati Bengals. He did play with them for 7 years, but that
Yeah.
was back when nobody went anywhere, and it was wasn't big. People
Yeah.
didn't leave teams. They drafted you, they had you. So if you were not a top option on the team, you kind of just were on the bench for
Yeah.
multiple years, and you
Yeah.
couldn't go anywhere. So that's the way his career went. He was a smaller guy anyway, so it just didn't pan out. They couldn't run him like most running backs of that era.
Yeah. Well, way back when, watching the Heisman Trophy award at the was it the New York Sports Club was must see
Yes,
TV. It used to
yes, it
come on
was.
like late Saturday afternoon, like at 6:30 or something like
Yeah,
that. And
yeah. I think
everybody would watch the Heisman presentation.
yeah, and I think it still does.
Yeah.
But there's so many other options
Oh,
now that I don't think
okay.
people watch. You know, I
Yeah.
don't think people watch like that.
No,
So
people don't look at it as, hey, we've got to watch. Even sports talk radio and TV, they don't talk about the Heisman
no,
Trophy
no,
candidates like they used to.
no.
They
It,
still they mention them, but it's not like, well, these three guys who are up for the Heisman, they had this, that. I don't recall them talking about that much anymore.
and also, you bring up a good point, right? Like think about the days of the 1960s and 70s,
Yeah,
right? There wasn't a lot of options to watch. So when the Heisman Trophy presentation came on,
yeah, you had sports on Saturday and Sundays.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if it was being televised, like in the 80s, the Heisman Trophy presentation was huge, and in the
Yeah.
90s, they just escalated it to a point where it was such an event, right?
Yep.
Um, that people would watch and people would want to see who won. It was dramatic.
Yeah.
And now I think they still have the shows. I can't tell you the last time I actually watched it. I
Is it
just get the
still on
news from the
ESPN?
phone. Huh?
Is it still? Yeah, I think
I think so.
It used to be on on one of the networks, and I think ESPN picked it up
Yeah.
in like 1995 or something or other.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're correct. And so I mean, everything goes, you know, everything comes to an end, but apparently this will not come to an end, probably not in our lifetime. And but it's a great honor, but it doesn't exactly
Well, the Heisman
mean that they
Trophy
will have
also. Go ahead.
it just doesn't mean that they're going to have success on the next
Yeah.
level.
Well, the
Most of
Heisman
them get the
Trophy.
opportunity, but they don't.
Yeah. The trophy, the winner used to bring commercial advertising success
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
You know, whether
Yeah.
you're and most of that advertising was basically by the time when you won it until you were drafted and into your first season. Then it kind of
Yeah.
faded out. Then basically people started looking on your performance on the field. But you know, it brought some monetary stuff with it. But
But I
now, I
do
mean,
feel
once you
like
sign an NFL quarterback, NFL contract, you're making big money.
yeah. Yeah. And it'd be interesting to see how like I do feel like when I watch college football now, I feel like I'm watching guys that are already professional athletes, the top ones,
Yeah,
because of the amount of money they're being paid, that they're training that way.
yeah,
And it's just not the same as back in the day. So it'll be interesting to see if the Heisman Trophy winners in the upcoming years, because of the NIL,
yeah,
uh, will be more successful in the NFL than some of the previous. I mean, you had people like you know Tim Couch and I mean Eric Crouch and Johnny Manziel.
Did Marcus
These
Mariota
guys.
win the Heisman?
I think he did.
All
Yes,
right. Yeah,
and Tim Tebow. You
yeah,
know, so you have these people, and you're looking at them, and I don't know if it's there was a stretch where in the 70s and 80s where the Heisman Trophy winner was like the elite player,
yeah.
and I just don't know if it's the same now, but it'll be
It's
interesting
it
to
it's
see.
not. I mean, you go and talk to your average sports fan; they're more interested in the point spread than they are a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And what's crazy is most of the Heisman Trophy winners from after Barry Sanders. If you
uh,
think about the amount of players who came out in those days, in the drafts in those days,
yeah,
uh, like you think about the '90s, you had Deion Sanders, Hall of Famer, and Emmett Smith, Hall of Famer, Michael Irvin, Hall of Famer, and none
yeah,
of these guys were in the were real Heisman Trophy, you know, winners. None of them were. So the guys that were picked ahead of them, you had a stockpile of Hall of Famers behind them. So it's
yeah,
very much like the NBA with the number one pick. There's always guys that people go, oh, he's not the greatest, the latest and greatest. But then once they get into the NBA, they realize, oh, that guy's great. And this guy
yeah,
that we took in the first with the first pick,
yeah.
he's not so good.
Look, it college is so much different than the pros. You can scout somebody and look at, but until they're playing in a real professional football game, you don't know. You know,
No.
you don't.
And
Like
everybody,
Ryan Leaf, for example, this guy
yeah,
was going to be great, and he got to the pros and is like, he's bad.
right. And there were a lot of people, I'll never forget it, when Peyton Manning came out the draft, a
Yeah.
lot of people were like, I would take Ryan Leaf over Peyton Manning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they were like, the only reason why Peyton Manning is getting drafted this high is because of his father. And I'm like,
What is
no,
that? Don't
Peyton
even
Manning is
make
great.
sense. That don't even make
Right.
sense.
I get it. I've done that before. I've literally said stuff about people,
Yeah.
that have famous fathers in sports, and I go, hey, if that guy's name was, Bill Jones, he wouldn't be getting drafted, you know. But in this case, they were wrong.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning was great, and
Well,
Ryan Leaf was
there's a
great.
thing about, yeah, you have your father playing in the NFL, and that would get them to look at you, but that doesn't mean that they're going to waste a draft pick on you
That's
in the
right.
first round. You know,
That's right. So
like
yeah,
would Deion Sanders' son, people looked at him and said, well, he's not a first round type guy.
right,
Was
right.
he a fifth round type guy? I don't think so. I mean, he probably third or fourth round probably would have been a good place to
Yeah,
pick him.
yeah. I
But
definitely think he was somewhere in the middle.
yeah,
Right. I mean, watching him in college, I thought he was a good player.
yeah,
Uh, I thought he was just as good as some of the other quarterbacks who were coming out. Cam
yeah,
Ward, I didn't think Cam Ward, who went number one, I didn't think he was that much different than Sanders.
yeah,
So it could be saying that could be also saying how good are the quarterbacks that came out in this class. You
yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
so because I didn't think Sanders was much different from them, but I didn't think he was a fifth rounder either.
Yeah,
So
right.
but everybody, he definitely had that opportunity because his father, first of all.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why people looked at him, and then they talked about, well, his interviews didn't go really well, so that didn't help him. But he's
Yeah.
getting his chance to play now, and he will get another. He'll get the rest of this season. He'll get next season to play. You know.
And believe me, the way people need quarterbacks, he'll
Yeah.
constantly get opportunities to be on different teams if he
And
doesn't work
listen,
out.
folks, Tyrod Taylor is still playing in the NFL. They
That's
need
right.
quarterbacks.
That's right. Yep. That's just, hey, the Colts are bringing back Philip Rivers.
Yeah, that's right.
Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers could hang out with us. He's not that far behind. If he hung out with us, we wouldn't be the old men in the room. We wouldn't be giving him old man, lingo that he couldn't understand. No, he would know,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And the Colts brought him back. That's how desperate they are
Yeah.
for quarterback.
Yeah.
So, there's all Sanders will get his opportunity throughout the years.
Yeah.
If it's
All
not
right,
with them,
folks. We're gonna have to cut this out because I'm running out of stuff to say because my notes were lost in a car fire.
Sorry about
We're
that,
starting to
Bill.
ramble on about Tyrod Taylor, so things are getting bad.
Yeah.
Remember, folks,
So,
like and subscribe because we need a gazillion dollars because we want to get a couple of seats to watch the next Heisman Trophy winner at the New York Sports Club. And it costs a lot of money to go stay at the Ritz-Carlton, and all that jazz. So like and subscribe to Sports Economy 101. So I'm Bill and it's JP, so long, everybody.
So long, everybody.
Y'all come back now. Here